Fascial Normalization. That's year 2 in the SomaTherapy program. It's an amazing technique, difficult to feel and understand at first, but once you master it, it produces the quickest results with regard to your range of motion, to the inflammation, to just the overall feeling of well-being in the client. So during all the years you learn about fascia, the anatomy. During this year you learn a lot about the links, what fascia is. And just simply put, fascia is what gives your body structure, a form. It's the connection from one end to the other. It's all in communication, and that's one major function for the fascia. It also is responsible for carrying every cell type in your body, from macrophages, leukocytes, neutrophils, everything. So it has a huge defense and protection responsibility in terms of, in other words, it forms your immunity, right? It helps to, it's a big function with immunity. That's the main thing. To me, it's a fountain of youth, really. And when you look at the difference between the older people or ones that are a little more unhealthy or sick or dehydrated, the biggest difference you see is the fascia, as rest person. And to be honest with you, I think that's really a big family of youth for people. But so to use the technique, you need to know the anatomy very well. You need to know the direction of the fascia, which is not always the same direction as the muscle. The technique looks simple, but when you master it, it's a whole different ballgame, and the results are quick. But the goal of it is to normalize the collagen tubes within the fascia, so that fluid can be transported along with the cells along the way. So there's no kinks in the chain, basically, is the best way to describe it is if you're trying to water your garden and you have a hose that's all coiled up and there's not much pressure going through and the water's not coming out fast, and then you uncoil it and then you have all the pressure in the world and everything's functioning smoothly and you're able to water the whole, that's my analogy at least. So what we're going to do here is we're going to normalize the fascia iliaca. So it's not really normalizing the muscle, it's really normalizing the entire system of the iliacus, the psoas, its entire link. So I'm going to have you come to this edge and come up onto your elbows so you get more comfortable. So because you know the anatomy, you know you can tension, bend the knee, let it go. You know you can tension the psoas a little more by putting it into internal rotation. She's going to perform an action, and I'm going to try to follow what's called the PRM. That's beyond the scope of the video, but there is information you can look into as a primary respiratory mechanism. Once you get it and understand it, the technique works instantaneously. So I'm going to follow the fibers. I'm going to create a little tension. You're going to breathe in, push that pelvis back, push the lumbar spine, and you can feel it under your hands. You just start listening for the tissue, and you follow it. And that's really the hardest part. Push. Not so hard. Breathing. You give it a little more tension if you have to be very flexible. So I'm going to create. Good. In and out. And you go, and generally, if you do it with the PRM, 3 to 4 cycles, and the tissue is normalized. And the immediate effects are range of motion. Most people describe a sense of lightness in the joint. And that, in essence, is fascial normalization.